I move along. We go back to the NFC with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the first matchup on Sunday, the Bucs getting 8.5, and that one, these teams met earlier in the regular season. Bucs won that one 28-22. That game was in Philadelphia. Tom Brady threw for 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Jalen Hurts, 12 for 26, 115 yards, and one touchdown, 1 interception. Eagles had won 4 straight before they got blown out by Dallas in Week 18, and the Bucs, despite a lot of the injuries and someone just walking off the job, they won 7 of their last 8 games. Drink, how much of a chance do you give the Eagles in this one?
Whew. If I can just think of another receiver that can get something done other than Devontae Smith, I would give him a chance.
I guess you're
That's what
saying.
you.
I guess you're saying that's not Jalen Rager. I guess.
That's absolutely not Jalen Rager. Jalen Rager don't even think that's Jalen Rager. Here's the
Oh
deal.
my
Um, I mean, listen, it is what it is. Like, he can't be mad. I mean, listen, you got drafted in the first round over some dudes that you shouldn't have been drafted over. The Eagles believed in you, and what you gave them, a bunch of memes. That's what you gave them. Like, you're not cutting it out there, pal. And Jalen Hurts is the type of guy you gotta kind of make it a little easier for him. You know what I'm saying? He ain't a guy that's gonna put it through a keyhole. He ain't a guy that's gonna fit it through a window. You gotta kind of like make it easy for him. Help him lay it up per se. And that's not what he got right now. He got one receiver. You playing a team. Listen, Vita Vea is the run stopper. He don't even need nobody else. Just him by himself somehow just stop teams from running the ball. I don't know. I mean, with that said, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even know if Miles Sanders is back from injury. So you don't have your leading rusher. You now you got the guy Gainwell that's been, I think he's been like more of doing both, as you know, because he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield. So I think it's something there. But the problem is, once the Bucs key in on that, it's a wrap. And I think the Bucs defense is experienced enough where they're gonna fluster Jalen Hurts. They're gonna fluster him. They're gonna be like, okay, pressure, 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 make him roll out. One thing I can tell you about Jalen Hurts, he ain't gonna be there all day trying to go through the progressions. He gonna go through like two and a half, and then he's out of there. He's running the ball. I ain't got time for all that. That's gonna play in the Bucs' hands. That's gonna definitely play in the Bucs' hands because you cannot maintain that. That's one of those things. Oh, we got a lead. We're gonna sit on the lead by doing this, but you got to get the lead first. And you got Tom Brady over there throwing darts to Mike Evans and Gronk, and you know what his name? Scotty Miller comes out. Once a week he comes out. I mean, once a game, make a good play, call it a day. I mean, like it's very hard for me to see the Eagles with the upset here. I'm just gonna be honest. It's hard for me to see. Now, don't get me wrong, they have pieces. I like their defense. Their defensive line for sure. But the problem is the Bucs' offensive line ain't no slouch. So they protect Tom Brady. And Tom Brady ain't the guy that's gonna be out here just losing the game for his team. Like he old enough to know if I gotta lay down on the ground, I lay down on the ground. That's that. Like he's not gonna force anything. He's not gonna do anything crazy. But so Philly got Darius Slay. So I would assume the matchup would be Mike Evans versus Darius Slay. That's what I assume. I mean, both Pro Bowl guys. That's what I assume. But then, if you had another cornerback, like who would you put on Gronk? And that's why I think the matchup is for the Philly defense is who you gonna match up against Gronk. The other guy's gonna make plays, but I'm talking about guys that's gonna probably be the focal point of your preparation. Mike Evans, Gronkowski, I think those guys are the focal point. Then you got Little Fournette. What's the guy? Keyshawn Vaughn. You had those guys in the backfield because I think Ronald Jones he's been ruled as out for this
Yep.
game. So
Fournette will be a game time call too. Him and Levante
okay,
David.
okay. So, with today's way they do things with the whole injury thing, I'm just gonna assume he's gonna play because if he wasn't, they would just say out by now. So I'm gonna assume he's gonna play, or at least give it a go. I assume he's gonna give it a go, and if he don't, it'll be the Keyshawn Vaughn show. But he ain't a slouch either. He's been doing he been making the good use of the time he's been getting as well. But when I look at the avenues of approach, the Eagles at 9-8, the Bucks at 13-4. I'm just looking and I'm like, Jalen Hurts might not be enough. They don't got the receivers. The run game is better with Miles Sanders than it is without him.
And he will play. He will play, by the way.
Okay, cool. Miles Sanders will be in there. Now tell me what version of Miles Sanders I'm gonna get. And now you're talking about running into Villa and crew. I don't know. I don't know how they score enough points. I'm looking. I can't even make up a scenario how they score enough points. And then, like I said, as when you flip it, the Bucks on offense, it's like I love to see who they're gonna put on Gronk. I really do want to see who they're gonna put on Gronk. I think he's gonna have a monster game. And Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Dare I say it? I don't think I need to say anything else. We know what he do when it comes playoff time. So yeah, man. I take the Bucks for the win and the points and all that and some with the drippy drip.
Yeah, you'd have to think. I think this is the one that's most likely that we just get chalk and the Bucks move on. But think about Tampa Bay, and we've chronicled it lately. Is just man, they've been, especially you go back to that Saints game. You just had guys like dropping left and right, and this is not the same team they were to start the season. When you throw out Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, and Rob Gronkowski, that's a group of weapons. Just I don't think another team out there has that many, at least that many weapons in name. Like those are brand name dudes. And now you're down to Mike Evans and Gronk. And then, the rest of the receivers are kind of like, maybe. The thing about the Eagles, I think the Eagles, I'll give them you got to give them, I think you give them a puncher's chance because I think there is a way they can win the game, but they have to play a certain brand because as you say, Jalen Hurts just isn't the prototypical, go through his progressions quarterback. And he don't have a lot of weapons. It's Devontae Smith, it's Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins, I guess would be your third guy. Of course, Miles Sanders, we know he can do coming out of the backfield. But they have to run the ball. And I talked about Josh Jacobs in the first matchup. He's going to be critical to the Raiders, but even more critical, the Eagles have to run the ball to have a chance. Now it is going to be a strength on strength type deal because that's what the Bucks do very well. They stop the run, Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh. Those are big bodies and it's tough to move them around. But that's the matchup. I think whoever if the Eagles compete well on the line of scrimmage, if they're able to get some push, get these guys moving. I think Jordan Howard's a guy that you might want to the Eagles might want to get him the ball a little bit, get that bruising downhill style. But I think the critical thing for Jalen Hurts is if the Eagles are to win this game, he's got to have a huge game with his legs. He's got to make plays running with the football. And I think the thing about it. For Tampa Bay, is Todd Bowles prepared for that? I got to believe he is because, Jalen Hurts, I got to think, do you want to just all out blitz him? Do you want to just go after him on obvious passing downs? Or do you rush under control, a little bit of containment? And then Devin White, Devin White's the guy in the middle to me, been healthy all year. I think if I had to guess, Todd Bowles got to employ him as a spy to try to control Jalen Hurts' legs. And I just think that, even though Tampa Bay's defense on the back end, I think is a little suspect. They've been riddled with injuries, seemingly from start to finish. And I don't think the Eagles have the personnel to, take advantage of that. And the Bucks, they've been a lot of guys injured, as I said. They're going to get some guys back, it appears. JPP will be back. Shaq Barrett will be back. Fournette, David, I guess they're a toss-up at this point. But even so, for the Eagles to have a chance, you'd have to believe that those guys are not quite fully 100%. And I think that Eagles to me have to play a perfect game to have a chance. The Bucks are the more talented team, even though the injuries have piled up on them. But even with that said, it's hard, really hard to imagine, and plus Nick Sirianni, even though I think he's done a heck of a job this year, against Bruce Arians, and not only Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles. Hard to imagine the Eagles would be able to win this one. And I think the Bucs, they definitely cover in this one.